Well, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. And that's the most important part of our life at the moment. hmm And happy Easter, everyone. Yes, happy Easter. Easter. Wow. Well, some interesting questions in this little lesson that I have here. Not a lesson, but handout for the other classes. I'll maybe post something on the group as well, on the page. It says, what does Easter celebrate? Well, Easter celebrates, it's got a tradition in the Christian celebrations, okay? And that's the origin of it. Although nowadays, as you know, Canada is a multi religious country, multicultural, multi religious, with many religions and many traditions. So, Canada's actual religion tradition is to have many religions with many traditions. Now, that's what it is at the moment. Still, though, we follow the main holidays are based on Christianity from our history, okay? And that's where Easter comes from. And so, when does Easter take place? Well, it takes place this weekend. There is Good Friday, that's today, and there's Easter Monday, that's on Monday. So, nationally, these are what we say statutory holidays. Mm-hmm. Um, put that here. So that means that statutory holidays means that it's a national holiday. At the same time, it means so well statutory holidays, and at the same time it means that those holidays, they are paid holidays. So um, national holidays, okay? Everyone takes those days off. Not me, here I am because I'm having fun. I enjoy learning about IELTS in my free time. Okay, well, so again, um, I'm not going to go into the details about Good Friday and Easter Monday. That's more religious, like I say. And even though I am Christian, I it's very funny actually, but in my church, we don't celebrate Easter. Why? Because we don't believe that Easter is important to Christianity or for our church, because we say that every day we need to remember about Easter, which celebrates in religious terms something about something about Jesus. So But my church believes that we need to do that every day, not on a specific day. So for us, Easter, the religious part, is more to do with another type of Christianity. Because there are many types. Just want to say that. So similarly, in Canada, most people don't celebrate the Easter religious part. They celebrate Easter as the holiday. Yeah. And Easter the holiday is very different than Easter the religious celebration. For example, we have Easter eggs. I believe that's a Ukrainian tradition, actually, where eggs symbolize birth, spring. So that's why you decorate the eggs, like the picture here. We also, for some reason, we have the Easter bunny. And it says here that the rabbit is a symbol of birth, fertility. It's another symbol of Easter. And the Easter egg, a symbol of new life, you see. Yeah. There's the Easter basket where you put some eggs and chocolate. Of course, chocolate. Wow, chocolate is in every holiday. Anyways, enough about that. I think that Easter, more or less, in Canada is a holiday. And, well, very important, a time to be with your family, because we have Easter dinner. Yes. We always have Easter dinner at my sister's house. But unfortunately, I'm not sure about this year. We'll see about that. But Easter's a time to be with your family. Easter's a time to reflect on well, I guess I would say spend some quality time with your family and reflect on your life. And I think right now would be a good time to really reflect on everything that's going on, okay? So Easter is a little bit different this year because there's not many celebrations. Usually there's more, but we haven't seen any plan. There are not many plans. Lots going on YouTube. Okay. So happy Easter, everyone. Coincidentally, this really ties in with our topic, which is consumerism. Wow. Now, consumerism evolved, okay, from the idea that part of our lives, let's say, involves consuming products and goods. That's what I would say consumerism is. We consume many different products. Energy, we consume food, we consume well, mainly those ones I would say, but basic. Consume water, for example. And then we consume a lot of materials for building houses. Well, that's like the beginning. Like, if we look at it from a long time ago, we mainly consumed water, food, and maybe I would say a few amount of materials to build houses and tools. If we bring that forward to nowadays, well, I would say now we consume a lot. Energy, tons of products. Well, many natural resources like fossil fuels. That's kind of hidden from us. If I look at myself personally, I would say consume food, lots of different products for clothing, for things that I use. Of course, gas for my car, electricity for everything that I use. So all that is part of consumerism, okay? We consume many things. So let's remember that consumerism is the main term for the whole idea. Then there are the verb to consume. And then there's the noun, consumption. Energy consumption, for example. Okay, so consumerism is the idea, consume is the verb, consumption is the total amount that we consume. And some people say that consumerism is good. Others say that it's not good. We're going to look at that in a second. So just over here, we have some words we want to keep or get rid of. So store. Okay, so obviously to store means keep. To store. Then we have to hoard. Hoard means keep it. You keep. Some people like to hoard. It means they keep everything that they have. Yes. Archive. That's kind of keeping information. Maintain. To maintain something the way it is. To save. We need to save money. That's very important nowadays. Right? Stockpile. To stockpile. These are all verbs, I believe. Yep, all verbs. To stockpile something means keep a lot of it. We have lots of people were stockpiling toilet paper. To retain, to keep. You need to retain all this vocabulary. To preserve. You need to preserve yourself in a healthy way right now. We need to conserve energy. So dispose of, to throw away. Throw garbage away, for example. Same thing as throw away here. Yeah, abandon. Now, abandon would be to leave something behind. We need to abandon our negative lifestyle habits. Discard, throw it away. Dump, to dump something. Some companies dump waste in places they shouldn't. eradicate, to destroy it completely. Okay. Very good. Now we have here rather than plastic bags, people should recycle them. The most suitable? Well, I think we can put throw away for sure. Rather than throw away plastic bags. I think that's the main one. From these words here, for sure. To prevent littering, people throwing in the throwing garbage on the streets or the parks. So here, dispose of. You can put throw away here as well. But just dispose of sounds like kind of you need to throw it away carefully. The snow was so heavy that we need to our car and walk. So we need to leave our car behind. We need to abandon our car and walk. So that's what it matches there. So we have a wood burning fire. So you need a special container to keep the fuel in. So, the fuel in. I think it has to be store. Yeah, you need. So I guess you need a special container to store or to keep the fuel in. Best one there. Companies will cause an environmental disaster if they illegally. So that's what I was telling you. Dump waste in there. Be a good idea to practice all that, everyone. Try to make a word using each sentence. Let's read this short reading. And we want to put yes, no, not given. Okay. As the United States, well, let me read the questions first here. People in the US clearly like to show how good they are at reusing and recycling goods. So it should be in order. Spending patterns in the US are surprising given the income trends there. Spending patterns, how people spend, a pattern, like commonly. So those are surprising trends. What's popular? In the 1970s, spending in the US was at an all-time high. Probably, but not now, that's for sure. Let's see. As the United States became the economic leader around the turn of the 20th century, it also took the lead in consumerism. There we go. Buying things, making things. By 2003, personal consumption, so there you go, personal consumption, accounted for 70% of the nation's gross domestic product. So gross domestic product is, it's like a number that means how much money people have. But for the country, it's how much they how much it's a money amount that says how much money was made or created by the economy. Personal consumption accounted for 70% of the nation's gross domestic product. So it means the total amount of money that was made by the economy, 70% was personal consumption. In 1950, the trend for families in the US was to own one car and save for a second. In 2000, nearly 1 in 5 families owned 3 cars or more. Wow. 3 cars in one family. It's common, it's true. And while some other countries pride themselves in thriftiness, thriftiness means here means trying to save or reuse something. For example, a thrift store. It sells used things. So it says here that some countries pride themselves. So they are proud. Yeah, pride themselves. Proud. Feel good about themselves. The converse or opposite would appear to be true for the US, where people spend more on garbage bags than 90 of the world's 210 countries spend on everything. So it says that some countries like to reuse and thriftiness, reuse or use old things again. It says the opposite is true for the US. People like to spend more on garbage bags. So I see that's related to question 1 here. And it says people in the US like to show how good they are at reusing or thrifty. That's obviously no, because it says that says here that they use more garbage bags than all those countries. So no. So put that here. Okay. So why is our appetite for stuff so insatiable? Insatiable. Not satisfied. We need more, more, more. Appetite. How hungry we are. So it says, why are we so hungry for things and we can't stop? For one thing, we have come to think that buying is an essential expression of freedom and individualism. That's true. We think it's part of freedom and our individualism. The normal pattern is you get more money, you spend more money, says Cornell economist Robert Frank. That's true. And yet, since the mid-1970s, when the disposable income of 80% of the US population virtually stopped growing, our spending patterns have bewilderingly continued expanding. So it says here that disposable income, money we can use to spend, Okay, so I see that's here 19. Spending patterns are surprising given the income trends. Okay. So I can see here 1970s, our spending patterns. So it says here that in the 70s, disposable income stopped. It says 80% of the US population virtually stopped growing. So our disposable income stopped growing. Income trends, so it stopped. So the trend, or what was happening, is that it stopped. But it says our spending patterns have bewilderingly, very surprising, increasing. So I can see from that there that the answer for number 2 is yes. It says here, our spending patterns are surprising because they're increasing, but our income is stopped growing. So yes for number 2. I see 70s spending was an all-time high. It doesn't mention it was the highest, so not given. It just says it something about the 70s there. Much of our ferocious consumption arises simply from the sheer number of goods available. Ferocious, very, very strong. Arises from the sheer number, great number, great number. But according to Professor James Twitchell, mass branding also spurred us to shop. Mass branding is like marketing. Many brands, Nike, Adidas, Gucci, Versace, D&G, Levi's, so many. Mass branding. Spurred us, caused us to shop. Take, for example, Ralph Lauren's description of the polo philosophy. What began with a tie has grown into a tire world that has defined how American style. Okay, so just something from Polo. That it says that their philosophy is create a style, American style. Now, says Twitchell, to curb, stop or slow down, our acquisitiveness. Acquisitiveness means, comes from acquire. Acquisitive is the adjective here. It's about getting things. About getting. We would have to debrand. So to stop us from trying to get things, we need to debrand, not have many brands. It's the scarf. It's not a Hermes scarf. It's a car. It's not a Lexus. You put it around your neck or you drive it. So saying that we need to debrand to make less brands. 4, having so many things to choose from can prevent people from spending. No, it says here that it causes us to spend. In order to reduce spending, people need to ignore brands and see only usable products. That's yes. So why is it yes and no? You wonder, well, we just did it. So having so many things to choose from stop us from spending? It says the opposite here. Mass branding causes us to shop more. Four. And ignore brands. Yes, it says here. Now we'd have to debrand. So this is what it's implying here. It says we need to stop thinking about brands and think only that it's a scarf. We need to debrand. It's a scarf, not a Hermes. It's a car, not a Lexus. So we need to think that it's only a scarf and it's only a car, not brand. True. And after all, you get, then what? Just as American as the need to buy, social observers say is buyer's remorse, feeling bad about buying. The backlash against American consumerism dates nearly to its conception. Backlash, anger about something. But anger about something that was positive. For example, let's say for so many times someone tries to do something good, but it doesn't work and everybody gets angry. That's backlash. Okay? Conception, the day it started. These days, our ambivalence and need to purge come in slick packaged form. A magazine called Real Simple that specializes in decluttering. It can be yours for just $3.95. Well, that's a very interesting word. Phrase. So first, here it says our ambivalence. So different feelings. It's like having different feelings about something. Right now, many people have ambivalence about this virus. Is it this? Is it that? And purge means like get rid of, throw out, remove. So our mixed feelings about throwing things away come in a stylish form. So it says a magazine. Now we have a magazine about decluttering, getting rid of things for $3.95. Funny, funny, funny. Many Americans return goods to store after purchase. What is it? Not given, right? It doesn't talk about returning things. Interesting. So this whole article was trying to talk about shop till you drop, shopping, 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 and consuming, consuming, consuming. Let's see what it says down here. We have some very nice words to review up there. Our natural is not good for the environment or for our own bank balance. Consumerism, personal consumption, disposable income, spending patterns, mass branding, acquisitiveness. Acquisitive comes from acquisitiveness. And I think that's the answer here. So like we have a natural desire to get things, and this is not good for the environment or for our bank account because we spend. But let me see. Could be disposable income, but I'm not sure. Many special celebrations have lost their meaning because they have been taken over by consumerism. Right, like Easter. I was just talking about it. Now, everything that you buy for Easter is more important than the actual meaning of Easter. The money you have left over after you have paid all of your expenses and bills is your disposable income. Right. What money you can use to spend. Is a way of marketing your goods to the widest possible audience. Mass branding. So it's about marketing, I told you. Marketing. Maybe spending patterns. Individuals can. So we need to reduce our spending patterns. And the chart shows the personal consumption. Personal consumption of the average household in Berlin. Okay, good. There we go. Very good, everyone. So, what does this tell us about? That was page 768. Now we're going to go to page 70. And speaking about consumerism. Very interesting. Do you think the fashion industry is positive or negative? And also, let's get our grammar and guides book ready over here for speaking. We are on page 107 and 108. One minute for you to get all that. Okay, so let's just remember about part 1. 20 to 30 seconds, answer the question directly, expand, conclude, avoid academic expression, right? I'm going to follow this pattern for part 1 questions, okay? Let's get here first. Let's talk about stores. Are there many stores throughout your hometown? So, following this pattern that we have in our guide, actually, I don't think that there are many stores in my hometown. That's because stores, they tend to be at shopping malls or at shopping centers in one specific location, not throughout the whole neighborhoods or communities. So each well, area of the city has one big mall where people go to. But you'll find some stores around. Okay, so I was trying to do both things at the same time and didn't really think about the time there. So I answered the question directly, then I expanded and I concluded. I wasn't really watching the time there, anybody. Anybody? So if anybody was, I don't know, but I wasn't. Now I'll try to watch the time a little bit more. And to do question 2, what type of stores are very popular? Well, let me go back to the guide here again. Well, I'd say that there isn't really one type of store that's very popular. That's because there are really many stores. If you go to the shopping mall, there are a big mall. Well, West Edmonton Mall, for example, it has about 1,000 stores or 2,000. So I wouldn't say that there's one popular store, but maybe you'll have some stores that are very trendy, so they're popular. I'm not really sure what stores it means here. Okay. You get the idea there. Same thing for here. Okay. Part 2. Part 2. Let's remember part 2. We have general English still. 1 minute you get to prepare for this. 2 minutes to talk. Remember to be narrative like you're telling a story. Most important part, cohesion. Yes. You need to follow cohesion, the structure, or else it looks very disorganized and lost. So we have that cohesion here to remind you very clearly. Describe a shopping website you visit or shop at. You should say where it is and what they sell, how often you use it, why you like it, why you prefer it over others. Well, there's many shopping websites. I'll speak for 2 minutes here, everyone, but I want you to really follow the cohesion. That's the most important part. I'm going to talk about the first 2 points here, the second one here, and the third one here. I'd like to speak about a very popular website that I usually shop at online, and that is Amazon.com. First of all, as I mentioned, that's Amazon.com. And well, they sell almost everything except for food. Well, online. I believe that they don't sell many food products. But as for electronics, books, clothing, furniture, so many things, they have expanded their market completely. And I think they could be the leader in online sales. And I tend to use it probably 2 or 3 times a month. I believe so. It depends on really the month. Um, Sometimes in the summer, I would buy less because I'm not at home using anything. So, regarding why I like it, well, I think it's very well organized. I think it just really points you in the right direction. It's a really good search engine. Also, I think that it's not so distracting. Everything is clear and laid out, and I really enjoy that part about it. Personally, I prefer Amazon.com over other shopping websites because it's trustworthy. I've never had a problem with it. And more important than anything, I think it has some really good sales, which I'm a cheap person, so I like the sales. Okay, I timed myself there, and that was 2 minutes. Nothing very strong. Most important, you see, I followed that structure, which is what you need to do. Okay? So let's get to part 3. Right. We need to speak academic English, and we need to be explanatory. Our answers should be 40 seconds to 1 minute. We need to answer the question directly. You've used cohesive structure. Right, like we have on page 108. There's always this structure that we can use. We need to expand our ideas. We need to be opinionated. We need to be argumentative. Use both sides. Facial expressions and gestures increase presentation, intonation, and reality. So try to be as natural as possible. Do you think the fashion industry is positive or negative? I think we've talked about this before. I would say it's positive because it creates personal style, I guess. Also creates numerous jobs. Builds economies. Well, helps the economy for sure. Now, I disagree because I think it gives the wrong impression of people. Materialistic, right? Too materialistic. And it just causes problems, well, I guess it's similar. For example, if you look at some young girls, I wouldn't say even just young girls, but young people in general, they develop some serious self-image problems because they don't think they're thin enough or they're not beautiful enough, and that's really negative. And let's not forget about the environmental problems. Lots of environmental problems there. Well, with all I guess, just producing so much, of course, there's waste, right? There's a lot of issues related to the cloth tanneries and dyeing the clothes different colors, and that causes a lot of chemical use, for example, okay? So there's some ideas for you right there. Now, of course, our answers, we should try to follow. It's on page 108 right here. You see? I'm going to follow this for you and speak a very short answer. So the question is, do you think the fashion industry is positive or negative? What was it again? Sorry, let me see. Positive or negative? Okay, that sounds like positive and negative, but we can look at both sides. Let me see here. Okay, let's follow the positive negative here. In my opinion, I think that the fashion industry has had both positive and negative implications on society. On the positive side, I think that because the fashion industry is part of the economy, I think that it does help the economy a lot. It creates numerous jobs in retail, for example, and numerous jobs in marketing and in business development. On the negative side, however, I think that because it's so materialistic, it really gives us a false impression of personal image. And this has had a lot of problems, especially in the youth. For example, some girls develop bulimia and anorexia because they want to be thin. So, all in all, I strongly support that we should focus on making the fashion industry positive and not negative. Okay, there you saw an example. Wow, it's so dry out there, everybody. Believe me, it's so dry. It's really affecting my throat. Every day I feel like I have coronavirus. Oh, it's funny. But it's really just my dry throat because it's so dry out there that it's making my throat very rough and coarse. I hope you can hear me well. I don't know. And also my sinuses. Whew, super dry. All right. That's a pretty good example. It's about a minute. What are the advantages and disadvantages of a consumerist society? Well, there's definitely economic advantages, right? Builds jobs everywhere. Also makes our lives convenient. For sure. Disadvantages? Well, I'll point out the environmental aspects here for sure. Typing is off. Environmental damage from waste and just pollution, many industry. Also, our lives have become too materialistic, for sure. Advantages, disadvantages. Remember, it says you need to be argumentative here. Can't just say advantages. Well, this one says both anyways. Page 108, advantages, disadvantages. I'm going to follow this structure here. From my point of view, I think that there are several advantages to a consumerist society, but at the same time, several disadvantages. On the one hand, it is undeniable that a consumer society really promotes economic growth through the development of many industries: clothing, housing, energy, retail. So all these industries really build the economy. On the other hand, however, I think that with the growth of industries, we've seen much environmental damage through manufacturing and air pollution and contamination of the land, water, and just human activity in general. So, in a nutshell, I think that although there are economic benefits, it's definitely detrimental to the environment. Okay, pretty good answer. I looked at economic benefits and environmental drawbacks. Okay. There exist so many businesses producing similar products. Is this positive or negative? Well, positive because free markets and economic growth, like we said already. And for the customer, right? Customer gets, well, consumer benefits. Wow, I don't know what's wrong with my typing today. Well, I know what it's wrong. I'm typing with one finger. Consumer benefits. Definitely, like cheaper products, right? Cheaper quality control. Ah! Negative, more pollution, competition, and just it's just not needed. Too much production. Well, definitely more waste. It would be better here. Okay. So following this one here, positive, negative. In my opinion, I think this trend has had both positive and negative implications on society. On the positive side, I definitely think it is more beneficial for the consumer. More products producing something similar, like TVs or cars. You can get cheaper products so everybody can afford it. But at the same time, some people really want quality. They want the best one so it can last longer. So they have that as well. On the negative side, production. The more production, the more waste. And as we already have a huge waste problem, so this would only exacerbate this problem. So all in all, I strongly support that we should have many companies producing similar products, but we need to control it. Good answer. Notice how over here on the negative side, I said production. That was natural, everyone. We need to try to be natural. Reality of answer. And that was me adding my own feeling. Oh, production, production, production. There's too much production. If you could do that, if you can try and make your answer as natural as possible, try to see how would you answer these answers in your language. Good. Because if you can answer them similar to how you would answer them in your language, you can do really well. But it needs to be in English, of course, right? Don't forget. Moving along, why do you think people continue to buy more and more products even if they may not need them? I guess personal development. Well, let's say personal. Okay, let's put personal growth. I'll use my example. I don't want to wear the same clothes every day, right? Because I want to look good. Present. Okay. No, better to say improve self-image. And this is good when you meet people, when you go to jobs, you should try to create a good self-image. So even though I don't need so many, I only have about 10 blazers. That's not many. But I'm always looking for something that makes me feel better. Could provide us more opportunities. Okay. And the second reason, I think that's materialism. This one is not good. We want more. Even I find that for myself. Sometimes I have something, but I want more. I only have one chocolate. I want 10. That's materialistic. And we need to control ourselves, but okay. So opinion. Opinion. Page 109. In my opinion, I think that there are several important reasons why people continue to shop or buy things even if they don't need them. First and most significantly, I believe that it's to do with improving your self-image. I think we want to look good to present ourselves better to others. For example, if you want to get a new job, you need to present yourself well. So you always need to look better for that. Equally important would be that with the rise of consumerism, people have become much more materialistic. So it's never enough. We always want more, or we want the best or the most recent product. Overall, I strongly believe that it's got more to do with our personal development, either through image or materialistic desire. Okay, good answer. I hope you see how I developed that from my ideas, okay? So, one more. How can the government control the manufacturing process so that it's not so environmentally negative? Well, definitely promote environmentally friendly products. And the other one for sure would be stricter regulation. So yeah, we need to promote more use of environmentally friendly materials in every aspect. And we need to monitor the situation more. Okay? So that's solutions right here. From my point of view, I think that the government can control the manufacturing process so it won't be so negative to the environment by introducing several important measures. Perhaps the most effective would be for the government to promote the use of environmentally friendly products. We need to take a strong action towards this, and many companies are just not doing it. They always want cheaper products or materials, and those materials, the cheaper materials, are not environmentally friendly. So the government needs to promote environmentally friendly materials. Equally effective would be for stricter regulations. The government needs to go out there and they need to control and monitor all companies to make sure that they're not producing much waste or pollution. So overall, I strongly believe that the most effective method would be for the government to implement stronger environmental action. Okay, so that one was 1:11. Good. There's no problem with you speaking a lot if it's good. I think my answers were only between 7 and 8. I don't think they were 9. Why? Well, because I was controlling them. I wasn't speaking very naturally. And an examiner can easily tell if it's natural or if it's controlled. This is very important, everyone. You don't want to sound like a computer. In my opinion, there are several good ways to control. You don't want to do that, everyone. You need to sound natural. Sometimes if you're using structure like this, it doesn't sound natural. I'll be honest. But when let's not forget, we're not trying to get 9. We're trying to get anywhere from 6.6 to 7. Okay? And for some of us, unfortunately, because of our second language accent, which is normal, it's hard to sound natural. So it's not that you're trying to get 9. So what we need to do is we need to use structure to build our answer, okay? And then when we build our answer with structure, we need to practice sounding more natural. Okay, so these answers, I wanted to do them to give you some good ideas and build towards our essay, which is on page 73. Consumerism has helped our society, but it has also posed some dangers. What are some disadvantages of consumerism, and how can we curb them? Problem solution, I think. So these answers here, everyone, should help us towards that essay. All right. That's it for now. I'll be back shortly to continue with that essay. I'll be posting that in another video. Also, let's not forget about our reading. Page 81, 82, 83. And we can also go to our reading, page 84, 85, and 86, okay? That reading should be posted later today or tomorrow. Bye for now.